Hi, Jon Kuzma from EndZoneBlog.com here. This is the Step Your Game Up YouTube show, and thank you for tuning in. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get right to the ticker. And first up, we have Ravens over the Bills. If you're following the AFC playoff picture, right now the Buffalo Bills are currently the last seed in the AFC. They're the sixth seed, but that doesn't mean that the Bills are going to get in. Right now, the Bills have to play the Patriots and the Dolphins, who have combined for 17 wins this year, and that's in contrast to the Ravens, who had to play the Colts and Bengals, who've only amassed 8 wins this year. So the strength of schedule that the Bills face is almost double, or it is over double, I should say, of what the Ravens will face. So that really opens the door for Baltimore to take it to the Colts and the Bengals, and then maybe have the Bills slip up against either the Patriots or the Dolphins. And then Baltimore and John Harbaugh and Joe Flacco and the rest of those guys can squeak into the playoffs, which would be a hell of an accomplishment for the Ravens. They have a good team, but they need to take that next step and get back to the postseason. It'll be huge to their confidence for next year. I don't think the Ravens, even if they got in, would win the Super Bowl. But like I said, it's all about confidence and it's all about baby steps. So you really want to see the Ravens try to step their game up and win these next 2 games, and then hope for the Bills to stumble. You got to figure that the Bills will lose to the Patriots as long as there's no upset. We know anything can happen on any given Sunday, but it feels like the Patriots will beat the Bills, and honestly, the Dolphins could too. If that happens, expect to see the Ravens surpass the Bills and get into the postseason. Continuing on, this next topic really excites me. The XFL. The XFL, if you don't remember, was a failed professional football league by Vince McMahon. They're apparently coming back. Vince McMahon has just sold $100 million worth of shares of the WWE Corporation. He's going to take that money and put it into a new venture called Alpha Entertainment, and basically they filed trademarks for the XFL name. So all signs point to Vince McMahon bringing the XFL back, and you have to believe this is because the NFL is slipping. The NFL, the ratings are plummeting. The kneeling during the national anthem has turned off viewers. We don't know what a catch is anymore. The concussion protocol stuff has been a joke. They're not taking care of the players good enough, and Vince McMahon sees an opportunity there to maybe steal a piece of the market and really revive his colossal failure, is what he dubbed it in the past. But another crack at it might give him another shot to, or will give him another shot, but it might even go beyond that and give him a chance to actually compete with the NFL. It won't be easy because the NFL is just a juggernaut. It's been so strong for so long. But at the same time, this is the time to do it. Obviously, recognizes that. Vince McMahon recognizes that, and look out for this move. I did a little research. The Birmingham Thunderbolts were one of the worst teams attendance-wise when the XFL played. The Chicago and New York teams were pretty bad too. So you have to wonder if Vince McMahon switches up the teams and tries to go to cities that will give him a better return of investment. The other thing is how the networks are going to pan out with the XFL if they do come back. NBC was a 50% partner of the XFL last time. Uh, Obviously, the WWE was the other 50%. I'm told that they put down $100 million and they only got $30 million back. So that it looks like between NBC and the WWE, they lost $60 million on the XFL last time. So they're going to be taking a lot of risk this time too, especially since this was such a financial dumpster fire the last time around. But if anybody can make professional sport work, it's Vince McMahon. You know, we've seen the empire he's built with the WWE. He has the right connections. He has the right capital. There's just so many benefits to having him as the main guy in charge, and you have to expect that he's out to fix his shortcomings and do it right this time. So it's going to be interesting to see the XFL come back and how they go about things. Keep an eye on that story. Let's go back to the NFL. Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones leads the league in sacks right now. He's the Arizona Cardinals outside linebacker. If you don't remember, the New England Patriots traded Chandler Jones to the Cardinals halfway through the season a year or two ago, and ever since joining Arizona, Chandler Jones has been outstanding. I don't know if you guys know, but Vic Beasley led the league in sacks last year with 15.5. Chandler Jones already has 15 sacks with 2 games left. So Chandler Jones has a real shot at breaking the amount of sacks Vic Beasley put up last year. And that's super impressive. This guy has been a force off the edge for the Cardinals. I know Arizona has struggled this year. They don't have a lot of bright spots, but this guy is one of them. He's been a great acquisition for this team. As long as I think Steve Keim is the general manager down there in Arizona. As long as he can get some other players around Chandler Jones, there's a bright future there. If I was in charge of the Cardinals, I would do everything I can to move up and get Chubbs out of North Carolina State. I think he would go extremely well with Chandler Jones, and then suddenly down the line, Chubbs and Chandler Jones could be somewhat like Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. So if I'm the Cardinals GM, I'm doing everything I can to move up and get Chubbs out of North Carolina State. That would be a huge acquisition for that defense, and those 2 players would be the foundation moving forward. Our next topic, we got Darius Slay of the Detroit Lions. It's been a great week for Darius Slay. Not only did he have a big game last week, where I think he recorded 2 interceptions, which gave him the lead for the most interceptions in the league. Darius Slay has 7 interceptions on the year, and not only that, he just got nominated to his first Pro Bowl too. So all signs are pointing to Darius Slay's play trending upward, leading the league in interceptions and the Pro Bowl nomination, I should say. That's going to be huge for this guy's confidence. He always believed that he could make plays if you followed the Detroit Lions, but it is huge to actually get those awards because now there's no doubt in your mind. And you got to give a lot of credit to Darius Slay because he's just continuously got better since coming in the league. I think like 5 years ago out of Mississippi State. Detroit knew they were getting a playmaker at corner then. He's lived up to expectations now, and suddenly the Lions have a pretty good secondary. You got Darius Slay back there, you got Glover Quinn. So things are definitely looking good in Detroit's secondary. And the Lions, if Atlanta struggles these last 2 games, Atlanta plays the Panthers and the Saints. So those are 2 very tough games for the Falcons. The Falcons stumble during those last 2 games, and the Lions can beat the Bengals and the Packers. Don't be surprised if the Lions get in the playoffs. It's going to be a stretch because Atlanta has to lose both those games and Detroit has to win both those games. But anything's possible in the National Football League, and we've definitely seen crazier things happen. Our next topic, moving down the ticker, we got, the Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings. Let's talk about this defense. The Minnesota Vikings had the second best defense in the entire league, second ranked defense, I should say. You got guys like Eric Kendricks and Everson Griffin, and on the back end, you got Harrison Smith and Trey Waynes. And this team just has everything it takes to suck the life out of their opponents. Mike Zimmer plays a fundamental brand of football. He wants to run the ball. He wants to play exceptional defense. And even more so, as far as the fundamentals go, I think for this team in particular, Zimmer wants to execute. He wants to eliminate mistakes. He doesn't want any broken coverages, and he doesn't want to give up very many big plays. That's his formula for success moving forward. And as long as this front 4 can get pressure on teams, the Vikings should be in good shape. You got Linval Joseph and the rest of those guys over there. Is it Daniil Hunter? Him too. He's a good ball player. So there's just like such a good mentality in Minnesota, and Zimmer has cultivated that ever since arriving there. He was a great defensive coordinator for the Bengals before he took the Vikings job. So all those tools that he's picked up along the way in Cincinnati have translated over well to the Vikings. And good news, Zimmer doesn't have the eye problem going on as bad this year. I don't know if you remember last year, he had multiple surgeries on his eye. It was just a nightmare year for him. Everything looks good for the Vikings right now. And if Keenan or Case Case Keenum can stay hot too, uh, anything can happen for this team. They're one of the best in the business. Definitely one of the best in the NFC. Uh, Without Carson Wentz for the Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota could easily step up and be the best team in this division. I know they lost to the Panthers a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last week, whenever it was. Um, but the fact is, this team is very, very dynamic on both sides of the ball. They're a complete team, and they just bring a physicality to the game. When you play the Vikings, you're going to go against some heavy hitters, and they can just deflate you and make you timid. Nobody likes to get hit like that many times, and the Vikings will knock your head off every single play. So watch out for Minnesota. They're a very good team, and nobody wants to play them in the playoffs because they can knock off anybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Follow me on Twitter at stillfly810. That's my personal account. We also have the Endzone Blog account. That's at endzoneblog underscore underscore underscore. Um, Check out endzoneblog.com for all our updates. I appreciate you all tuning in, and have a great night.